I definitely was worried there for most of the game because, the Knicks got off to a slow start tonight, shot 37% in that first quarter overall, and only scoring 22 points. They allowed, 27, so slow start for them. And then, it seemed like another sluggish kind of Memphis game where even in the Memphis game, they were down double digits. And I felt they got a little lucky in terms of Memphis not pulling away. Memphis gave them every opportunity to get back in the game. They did, and they won that game. And you saw something similar today. Early on, I was looking for that toughness. I was looking for the grittiness. I was looking for some fight, some IQ, some crisp basketball. You didn't see that, but you did in the second half, man. And you've gotten to a point with the New York Knicks now where it's also like a new recipe if you can just keep it close. Right? Like if you're down double digits as a Knicks fan, you're probably wanting to try to get back in the game, right? You want to keep it a close game. You want to get into close game situations because my oh my is Jalen Brunson running away with the clutch player of the year award with another performance in the clutch. And as I mentioned, like once they got back in the game and it was a 1 to 2 possession game, I was pretty confident as a Knicks fan that if we could just get the stop, the captain will bail us out again. And I thought he bailed us out. Him and OG Anunoby bailed the Knicks out again. So there's a lot of things the Knicks have to improve on, man. It's the details that continue to make this team very, very polarizing amongst the Knicks fan base, right? So we'll talk about those details and those mishaps and why they got into that position. Because in the end, the goal is more than just beating the Miami Heat. But for tonight, Captain bailed you out, and OG Anunoby showed you, maybe for the first time all season, in the second half, he gave you the $200 million OG Anunoby. He gave you the OG Anunoby that had those ridiculous plus minus numbers last season. If you remember when he became a Knick, it seemed like after every game, it was a new statistic that he was elevating defensively when he was on the court for the New York Knicks. And you got, I think, the best glimpse of that in that second half tonight with between him, and it looked so beautiful when it was him and Mitch on the court. Man,
Absolutely.
they stifled Miami to a point where you're hoping that maybe this is the beginning of OG being that type of player last year. Because I don't think he's quite been defensively the player he was last season, but he showed you that today.
For sure. But let's start off with Jalen Brunson, man. Let's start off with the Captain Clutch, because this guy, as you mentioned, just bailed us out again. And look, you talked about bringing this thing within 1 point. He did that. You get McBride knocking down that mid-range jumper to take the lead, and then you just see what Brunson does best, man, which is just getting downhill. How many times do you watch, players like in any game, and it's like they settle for mid-range jumpers, right? And they just settle for shots that they shouldn't be taking. And yet for Brunson, yeah, he can knock down the three. And we've seen him do that quite a few times where he's knocking down threes to take the lead and get the win. But in tonight's matchup, where you're struggling to shoot from like downtown, you're struggling to get any space, and you want to slow the game down so that way you get to the free throw line, because they weren't really calling a lot of free throws, man. I mean, the first free throw that was shot was with like 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. And so you see how Brunson just decides to get downhill and use his body, create contact. And I mean, he sees Highsmith on him. He's like, yo, that's food, man. You ain't stopping me if I'm going to the paint. And especially if you got nobody giving you rim protection. And so I just love what Brunson did, man. I mean, this guy had 20 points in the second half, 10 in both the third and 10 in the third and fourth quarter. And look, this guy just continues to show how surgical he is. There's no better word than surgical, because this guy truly just operates in a different way when it comes to being clutch, when it comes to keeping his team in the game, man. Even when he's looking for good passes like he did for OG against Memphis, he's just constantly aware of what the situation calls for. And Jalen Brunson, man, yet again, and look, he played 12 minutes in the third quarter. What did he play in the fourth? He played, pulling it up right now, it's on my computer. So he played 8 minutes in the fourth. So yeah, campaign, give him a little bit of rest. But look, this guy played the entire OT, most of the fourth quarter, 12 minutes of the third, as he also played a full first quarter as well. This guy is just showing you he he is limitless in what he can do. Shout out to Jalen Brunson for tonight's performance, man.
Good win. Just watching from the seats, it was disappointing in the first half because obviously it was not our A game. Like, you could see it from the energy to the defense. Everything was lackluster from the Knicks standpoint. And it was just one of those where if we cut it down, if we keep it close, you trust the captain to get the job done. And that's ultimately what happened. But in the beginning, give credit to the Heat. Bam had it going early. The Knicks were tentative around Khalil Ware. Big boy, man. Like, great job by Khalil Ware. I've been admiring his game since the summer league. He's been doing the damn thing. And they've got a good one there. When you put him and Bam out there, they are stout defensively, especially in the paint. And when it comes to just deterring offensive attack. And so the Knicks had a lot of trouble. They had to make the adjustments, but they did. And in the second half, you know what? Big money got it popping early. 3 corner threes. And the Knicks found themselves soul searching. They know it. They know the big money. They know the big money game. We all know it. You know what I mean? I saw it. I was eating dinner. I was watching. I said, "Here goes big money, man."
You can
he's
hear
back
the love
to
and
his old
admiration
tricks.
for this guy already. You want him back on the Knicks so badly.
I said, "Here goes big money up to his old tricks, man." But nevertheless, I said, just keep it under 20 in the fourth quarter. The captain is going to deliver. And they just kept chipping away. Shout out to the captain, obviously, first and foremost, just doing the damn thing. Shout out to OG, because his defense on Hero was a big difference maker. Shout out to Tibbs because JD, you talked about it in the Memphis game. Why did Tibbs take McBride out? Well, McBride started the overtime. Tibbs is starting to make his playoff adjustments. He says, "McCall, if you don't got it, we going to the guy who does." The deuce has been loose for a couple of games now. He deserved to finish the Memphis game, and he got the proper minutes in this game. We needed him. We absolutely needed him out there. He hit a big shot in overtime. Defense was on the money. OG's defense on Hero. Once we got to overtime, I already knew we had it in the bag. We just had to close out and execute. And they did that. Because it became, in overtime, the Heat's offense became a Hero-centric offense. And with Hero and with OG on him, that was going to be it. We were going to take that game. Just having to execute. And we did the damn thing, man. Great job by the team, bro. Good win.
Absolutely, man. Yo, what was the environment like in the arena?
Loud, bro. MSG South was on point. Let's Go Knicks was being matched by Let's Go Heat. In the fourth quarter, crunch time, there was no one was sitting. I think by like 2 minutes left, the Heat PA announcer makes everybody stand up. So everybody was up from like 2 minutes of the fourth into the overtime. Knicks fans were loud. Like when Davion Mitchell was at the free throw line, I think you guys heard it. The boos were loud as hell. It was crazy. Clyde said it. The Knicks, shout out to the Knicks chicks. He told me that Clyde was saying on a play-by-play that it was the loudest he ever heard it in there in terms of the Knicks fan participation. And then, as far as the people that we saw and that we were interacting with, Knicks fans were everywhere. In every seat, every row, every section, we were deep, man. Loud and proud. It was a good win, man. Good come from behind win.
Underdog Fantasy is the place to play if you're a fan looking to cash in on some of your favorite athletes' performances. Available in over 30 states, including New York, California, and Texas. Just call your shot on higher or lower on 2 or more player stats for your chance to win real money. Use our promo code KFTV for up to $1,000 in bonus cash plus a free pick. So download the Underdog Fantasy app today and turn every bucket into a W.
So let's go through the key stats, all right? As we all know, the New York Knicks won 116 to 112 in overtime. time. And when we look at the battle, man, Knicks won the rebounding battle 46-34. They lost the assist battle 27-29. I thought a key area for them tonight was, especially when you're going to get an Eric Spoelstra team, is to keep the turnover low. Now, they barely won this one 10-12. And, the Miami Heat were shooting very well tonight. They shot 54% from the field. They didn't shoot well from downtown, although it started off well for them in the beginning. But, shooting well from the field really put this team in a deficit, but yet the Knicks were able to, hold their weight. They shot 48%. They essentially matched the shooting from downtown with 32% as the Heat shot 31. And then the free throws was essentially dead even. I mean, Heat shooting 69%, Knicks shooting 67%, but the big takeaways in this game were the second chance opportunities and the fast break points. Knicks won those two battles 19-8 when it came to second chance points. Stuttering over here, I can't speak. And they won 9-5 on fast break points. And then when it came to points in the paint, both teams were having a lot of success. Knicks, barely edged that one out 58-56. So Knicks in this one, man, did a good job in winning some of the key areas in order to get this win. What were your thoughts about the key stats?
Listen, my key stat is the rebounding, right? Like that's Tom Thibodeau, the head coach, mentioned as one of the bigger areas that he thought we would see improvement with Mitchell Robinson's return. And it's not only Mitchell Robinson himself getting the rebounds, but putting into position his teammates to be able to get some of those rebounds, and them winning the rebound department today 46-34. But as we talk about them getting back to that identity that we knew about them last season, 11 offensive rebounds to the Heat's 3, and Mitchell Robinson getting his only 2 rebounds were both offensive rebounds. And you saw the impact on one of them, as I mentioned, where he got the offensive rebound, was able to pass it to the elbow, which led to the hockey pass, the hockey assist to OG Anunoby for the center court 3. That was one of those momentum threes. And so you look at that, OG himself having 3 offensive rebounds, Mitchell Robinson having 2. That's 5 offensive rebounds between your 2 best defenders on the team. So being able to get back to giving your team second chance opportunities, demoralizing the opponent. One of the ways that you do that is always by out-rebounding the opponents, and definitely by getting offensive rebounds, especially when a team feels like they play good defense in a 24-second shot clock. To be able to get an offensive rebound in those possessions is definitely demoralizing to the opponent. So good job there. And this is something that as Mitchell Robinson continues to build his endurance, get into better shape, and slowly increase his minutes, this is kind of the nights we want to see more of, these nights where you're getting more offensive rebounds as a team and you're out rebounding your opponent.
Agree with you on all those points as well, JD. And Daniel, make sure to change the stats next time. All right, we don't need to be reminded of the Cavs and Knicks game, please. For the good people out there, we do not need to be reminded of that. Let's wrap this show, man. Let's wrap the show with our closer of the night, none other than the legend, the man himself, the one of one, Cody Glock. Cody, are you there?
Yo, man, I'm putting all the chips on the table. I'm shoving all the chips in front of the table. I'm at the job right now. Shout out Manscaped, man. 0 turnovers because of Manscaped. Profusely, rapid fire, man. Yo, I'm off the back. I'm starting off with Mitchie off the back. What we doing here? We the best in the world. What we doing here? Let me tell you something about Mitchie. You see Mitchie? He ain't no snitch. It's his second game and he diving, hustling for the basketball. 7-footer we here. What we doing here? Like, yet again, I didn't hit the panic button at all. Mitchie back in the fourth quarter, defensive purposes. Yo, I'm done with y'all, B. There was really people saying trade him. Imagine. You see him, yo, look, bust it, right?
Let him know, Cody. Let him know.
Look, bust it, right? They got my man CP in there right now. Scotch in hand. He got to see big money be a factor and Knicks win for old time's sake. He couldn't lose tonight. It's a good time. OG, triple OG, another great game. Both ends. Brunson, clutch player of the year. Josh Hart put him in the dirt. Deuce was firing. I'm a happy camper. What do we got to prove? I don't care we lost to Boston. I don't care we lost to the Cavaliers, bro. Mitchie is back, bro. This is a new team. They gotta play this team. This team is 2-0. What are we doing here? Yo, shout out Manscaped. Yo, my bad. You feel me? I ain't even trying to impute. I ain't trying to impede on your progressions right now. I gotta go. You know what time it is. Yo, shout out Nikki Pipes, man. Shout out JD. Shout out CK2K. Shout out Alex Wagwan, man. You already done know. Yo, shout out Nikki Pipes, man. Shout out everybody. Yo, Chugsy, I see you, man. It's still love, man. Yo, shout out Mitchie, man. Yo, shout out Jadakiss. Shout out Styles Pete, man. I'm out, man.
that was Cody Glock. The one and only Cody Glock. Woo! He said he doesn't care, man. He said this is a new team. Don't matter who's in front of him. They're going to take down everybody. That's the confidence that Cody's got right now, man. Mitchell Robinson is back. The Warden is back. He said he doesn't care. He does not care what y'all thoughts are. Mitchie's bike. He's bike.
I'm excited about Mitchell Robinson, man. I actually can't wait. When you see him play well, you actually get upset as a fan because you want to see him there for a few more minutes, and it's like he's under the minutes limit. So I'm just, I know that a lot of Knicks fans are excited to see him get into the 20 minutes range and see how that develops because, the more minutes he plays, he's going to get you more offensive rebounds. He's going to get you more opportunities in the glass. And you saw that impressive block he had on Tyler Hero. That right there is what, the Huck Porties that people are very high on. You don't get those type of plays to that level because Mitchell Robinson, as an NBA veteran now, has the timing down packed when it comes to making those plays. And then the young players, sometimes they're developing that as they develop their defensive awareness. Mitchell Robinson already has that. And that play alone sometimes makes a guard think twice about coming to the paint